Hello people, welcome back to the grammar module. Today we will move on to the next topic in our syllabus, and so as to introduce this lesson I will ask you this question. Have you ever heard, seen or listened to any of these expressions? Are these sentences incorrect in your opinion? No, they are absolutely fine. However, they are using a special verb form which is the subjunctive. So as to analyze this, we are going to focus on some critical questions. Number 1. What is the subjunctive? Rather than verb form, we will refer to the subjunctive as a mood. You may be asking now, teacher, what in the world is mood? Well, mood is basically a verb accident or a verb category which indicates manner or attitude of the speaker. There are 3 moods in English: the indicative, used for assertions in affirmative or negative statements, the imperative in commands, and the subjunctive, whose meaning and use we'll analyze later on this video. Number 2. How do we form the subjunctive? In order to make the subjunctive, we need to use the base form of the verb, that is to say, the bare infinitive. Remember, the bare infinitive is a non-finite form. It does not change in the third person singular. Have a look at this example. I command that he study. It is essential that we be there. Dawn recommended that she join the committee. Here is a tip for you. It is easier to recognize the subjunctive when it is used in a sentence which has a subject in the third person singular, because the subjunctive does not carry any marking of tense. That is to say, it does not have modals, it does not have auxiliaries, and it does not have final s, final d, or et, for example. Number 3. Does it have a negative form? Of course, the subjunctive has a negative form, but the meaning of the mood does not change at all. To make the negative, we need to place the adverb not before the verb. For example, I suggest that you not take the job without considering it. Please notice here, as I said before, that there is no auxiliary verb before the negative adverb and before the verb. Just the negative adverb and then the verb in the bare infinitive form. Number 4. When do we use it? To make this less stressing for you, we will move from the easiest to the most difficult part. A. Fixed expressions, such as the ones that we have seen in the introduction of this video. B. Wishes and hypothetical situations. In fact, we have always been using the subjunctive. It is in the second conditional when we use the construction if I were. Please, at this point, bear in mind that meaning is a very important area for grammar. It is not the same to say, if I were you, I would work harder, which is a piece of advice, than saying, if I were a cat, I would lie in the sun all day. I wish I were a cat, so that I could lie in the sun all day. In this case, the subjunctive is in the expression if I were or I wish I were, because it is something impossible or hypothetical. And finally, number 3, in complex sentences. In that clauses with verbs such as demand, insist, and recommend, which are related to adjectives such as essential or important. For example, it is important that they be aware. The teacher demanded Mark submit his paper before next week. And the final question of this topic is, what does it mean? The subjunctive has 2 meanings. For instance, number 1 is to emphasize importance or urgency, as the example that you can see below, and finally to express wishes or hypothetical situations, such as the examples that we have seen in the previous section of this video. So please, I hope this video has been useful for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the forum, and if it is possible for you, please read on the